All right, all right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Whenever you are watching, you know that we are giving it to the people. So today is just like any other Give It to the People day, where we are giving you great guests, where we are giving you some information that maybe you didn't know. And so let me tell you who I am. So I'm Chisa Penix Brown. I am the Chief Curator and Mental Wealth Lifestylist over at Give It to the People, which is a mental wealth company that is focused on helping you get your mind right and your money right. And we do this podcast, Give It to the People Live, to really shine a light on women owned businesses, BIPOC businesses, specifically Black businesses, and then those organizations that are entrepreneurial support organizations that focus on those businesses. So today, I have a lovely guest who I have been actually very eagerly anticipating because one thing that I do is I will look on social media. I will look, honey. I will follow. I will find somebody. And when I see something great, it's like, let me go ahead and see if they want to interview. So without further ado, I am bringing on today Lillie Norfleet. So how are you today, beautiful?
I'm doing well, and you are beautiful. I'm doing amazing today, and I'm so blessed that I can be a part of your platform.
Oh my gosh. Well, no, let me tell you one thing that I do, like I said, is I pay attention. So when I see people putting out good things, one thing that I notice is that with small businesses, and I say this over and over again, small businesses don't have enough of the recognition that they need. So until you make it big and it's some big splash and you're in some big newspaper or some big magazine, or something big on TV, a lot of times people don't pay as much attention to small businesses. But I'm a big believer that if we take the time to highlight those small businesses, that one interview, we don't know where that could lead, right? Somebody may
Right.
find out about your business, and they could be anywhere in the world. And now, it'd be great if we were like part of the reason why your business blew up. So I always
I'm
like,
receiving it. I feel like you will. You already are a part of why our business is growing more than you know. I've taken
really?
a number of courses that you were a part in. There was one particular course several months back before our company officially launched, and I
Okay.
kept saying, we're not operational yet. And you were like, we're not receiving that. And that has stuck with me to this day.
That's right. That's
So
right. Because
thank you.
once you get an idea, it's
Yeah.
not just the idea, it's also working on the idea. And a lot of
Hmm.
times it takes people, weeks, months, years in order to get it going.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we hinder ourselves by saying, oh, I'm not in business yet. So my thing
Hmm.
is, once you come to one of my classes, honey, you are in business now.
Yes. And that's what I literally needed to hear that at that moment. My husband, who's also my co-founder, Brandon, he
Mhm.
was in that course. And I think we both needed to hear that in that moment.
Oh, I love that.
And it
That's
has
so
stuck
good.
with us.
That's
Hmm.
good. That's good. So
Hmm.
now, shop, find her keeper. That's what the Instagram is, but find her keeper. I want you to tell people about this brand and what made you start it in the first place.
So, wow, this brand has been a 5 year journey in the making. It took us 5 years to actually get to a prototype that I felt like it would feel great on a woman's foot and look great on a woman's foot. And I originally got the vision from God back in 2018, Memorial Day weekend to be exact. I was in the bed. I have these random thoughts that come to me 3, 4 a.m. And it's like, okay, so now it's get up, get this idea going, go pray to God about it, see what he can do. So it's like, you're going to do this brand, FindHER, KeepHER, and you're going to, and the first product is going to be women's shoes. And I'm like, what? You can't question God. But I was in banking at the time as a mortgage underwriter.
Okay.
So it just came completely out of left field. So that's how I knew it was truly God's assignment for me to carry out.
Yes. Now, finder keeper, just to be clear, because everybody doesn't know, but women's shoes is the
Mhm.
basic idea of everything. And then
Yep.
you have the vision that there will be other products, accessories, and all
Absolutely.
that type of stuff
The
after.
vision was huge. It was, you start with shoes, sort of like walking in your purpose, walking by faith, the thing that connects women. And
Mhm.
then the vision was like shoes, makeup, clothing, athleisure, electronics for women, fitness
Mhm.
stuff for women. Like it
Mhm.
was a very clear vision that I received.
But he said, start with the feet, right?
You
And
can
I think
start
that
with the feet.
if you're a believer, right? I mean, you understand, the whole concept of, the feet walking,
Yes.
being carried, that vision, and then putting it into action. So I think that there's so much power in the idea and the concept of the feet, of the shoes being the first thing. But what
Yes.
about the name? Where did the
The
name?
name, I think it came from, I kept praying to God, give me a name that is in alignment with where I am currently in my journey, but where it could be transitional throughout whatever season you're in life or whatever goal you're going after. So FindHER is literally me finding out who I'm called to be. KeepHER is not continuing to lose myself in the chaos that life can be sometimes. Because I feel like, especially with as women, we are so quick to put everybody else's and whatever they need on our shoulders. So this is basically saying to women, it is okay, even with doing all that, to look at you, find yourself, and not continue to lose yourself in this thing called life. Because I'm definitely guilty of that.
Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you what I thought when I saw it. I immediately thought sometimes you cannot find the shoe that you need, honey, and when you find her in your size, because I'm telling you, it's
Listen, it could be that too. Now these shoes, you're gonna want to keep them for sure.
But that's what I'm saying. It's nothing like, oh my God, that's my size. Oh, I like that. Oh, okay. And I
Yeah.
can like, let me go ahead and get that. Let me get all the colors, right? So I thought it was a little bit more like that. Yours was way more in depth, but I'm like, I keep going through this thing where what am I trying to practice? Delayed gratification in a way, because I am an impulse shopper. Okay. And so I've been saying, listen, we have things that we need to do. So don't spend now. You can spend a little bit later, right? And I think that's I don't know. I don't know if it's working out. I mean, I think it's kind of working out. But it doesn't work out when your size is gone. And most of the time with me, it happens with sneakers. It's like, oh, I like that. Now I'm not gonna get it now because I'm trying to do such and such. And I have just personally learned, listen, if you got it, get it. Because it will on. So
if it's on your radar, get it, like you say right there, for sure.
Yes, because I mean, oh, I love it. And it's like waiting and waiting and waiting for certain things, you will miss it because there won't be another one, and you have to think about that. So, okay. Now I like that. Now, since you have been in business, right? One of the things that you just said was 5 years, right?
Yes.
What were some of the hurdles that you had to get over for 5 years? Because clothing is one thing, but shoes is a whole nother beat. In order to make a shoe, and then you need shoes in multiple sizes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So hurdles, the first go round of it, my husband and I, we were trying to do it on our own, and we're not shoe designers. And we were just trying to do it on our own. We did that for like 2 years. We actually have our very first prototype. I mean, of course, it doesn't look as good as the shoes do now, but it's still like you see what you were going after. The pandemic hit, everything shut down. So it's like, okay, God's rerouting us. So I went into prayer. It's like, oh, you actually get someone in the industry that can usher you into the right direction, because you're wasting a lot of time and you're wasting a lot of money. Sometimes I'm guilty of not wanting to ask for help, right? I just want to I'm going to figure it out. But it was like, scared money don't make no money. So you're going to have to, if you say you about this dream, you're going to have to go after it. So I found a company out west, a US shoe company, who did a consulting call with my husband and I, and they actually told us where to go, which was upwork.com, to find a footwear designer. And so we just started to conduct interviews. We found one, and the rest has been history. But as far as other hurdles, I'm also a caregiver full-time to my mom. So I had to put the dream down for a little bit. My mom had a massive stroke back in April of 2019 and kidney failure.
Oh, man.
So I had to stop everything. Literally, I was working at the bank. I had to stop that day, go all the way back to my hometown and take care of her. We were at the ICU for a month.
Oh, wow. I know what that's like, unfortunately, going through basically the exact same thing. So when that happens, you want the dream, you want the vision. And I'm just going to say this from personal experience. Sometimes you feel guilty because you wanted to do this thing, but then it's like you have to take care of the person that took care of you. you can't feel guilty. In hindsight, you can look at it like this, but you can't feel guilty about, helping somebody that you love, right? Especially in
Right.
that situation. And then, you got to do what you got to do at that time. And that dream is not going to go anywhere as long as you keep working on it at a later point in time. So then what got you, okay, we get through that part. And then you listen to the people once you did that call. You gave us a nice little chocolate right there with the upward kind of help.
Yep.
And then what was your next thing? Okay, so you got the designer, and then what happened
We
after
got
that?
the designer, interviewed her, fell in love with her right away. Because we interviewed several footwear designers, but we just knew within that moment that it was going to be her.
Okay.
So I know God sent her to us because not only did she help with shoe design, but she was also a graphic designer. So when I worked out, she wanted me to write out the vision, everything that I thought about FindHER KeepHER, what it meant. She helped us come up with colors, logo, everything that what we needed to move forward. We got to working on shoe sketches, testing out materials, prototypes for like almost 3 years. And then we just got a great fit, great packaging, great branding, and it started to flow from there.
I like that. Now, one of the things I put out online was I said, well, ladies, if you have a big foot and you cannot find a shoe that you are looking for, this could be a solution. And so I think that it's always great when a person starts a business with the intention of solving a problem. And so was that really like when you decided to launch the brand, was that the demographic that you went after? Like what was your first, initial target?
So my demo are women that are 35 to 55 plus. I think you would be a great one in that group because you are very fashionable. So you know how sometimes ballet flats can look matronly and it's like, oh, that ain't it. But these shoes, I'm like, even though they're flats, I still want them to be sexy. I still want them for the woman who is like, I want to walk in the room and own the room. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I feel like we accomplished that. And we do have a good variety of sizes, starting from 7 all the way up through 11 and a half. And of course, as we grow, we would want to expand our shoe sizes even more.
What's the biggest size? Well, not biggest size. What's the size that sells out the fastest?
Right now, 8.5. I'm like, it's a lot of women who wear an 8.5 for sure.
Yeah, I'm not an 8.5, but okay. Yeah, but no, I just think it's always interesting to kind of see like trends and stuff. Cause I remember back in the days when I could wear like a kid size shoe and I cannot do that anymore. Like those are gone, right?
Oh yeah. I'm one of my video guy, he was trying to come for the women with the big feet, right? So I coined us the big feet baddies, right? So I'm like, okay, I got big feet, but we still cute. We still doing our thing. So I wear a size 11, but our collection currently goes up to an 11.5. So,
but see, that's good though, because I think that there are a lot of women who are like, I would like something, and then they can't find what they want. And I think also sometimes when you look in the stores, they try to be too trendy. Like I think you want something that you probably could go from day to night, something that you could weekend. And what I've looked at from what I've seen with yours, it gives that easy transition that some of these other shoes, they're just doing too much,
Yeah. I feel like you say, we got a little bling on all of our shoes, but I feel like if you want to dress down, you can. If you want to dress up, you can. They'll carry you from day to night for sure.
Yeah, no, that's the thing that I looked at. Now, as far as like a major achievement so far, what's been something aside from like, oh, we're actually open, like we have something. What's been like a major achievement that you feel like that you've already accomplished so far?
I had a repeat customer who bought the entire collection within a month. I was so just like,
come on, Tammy.
Yes. Yep, that. And honestly, I will say not giving up despite of, because like I say, I told you a little bit. I told you about my mom, but there's been within my family, probably within the last, I would say 10 to 15 years, maybe 40 plus deaths. There's been a lot of things that have happened. Even last year, October, I lost my uncle who was like a father to me. My mom's youngest brother, she's outliving him. He would be the one I would go to for prayer whenever I needed guidance from an elder, right? So we lost him, and we lost my father-in-law on my birthday last year, November 29th. So it has been so many things. I'm just so proud of myself, our footwear designer, my husband, for not giving up despite of the things that the hard knocks that life can bring you. It's just the perseverance, I think, is the biggest accomplishment for
No,
sure.
it is. It definitely is. Because I mean,
Mhm.
grief can take its toll. And
Yep.
then as soon as you think you're getting over something, or you might not be getting over it, but you're kind of getting back, then for something else to keep happening and for something else to keep happening.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of those things where you could just be like, it just pulls on you. And there's nothing that you can do except go through it, right? And you
Yep.
still have good days and bad days. And I mean, the unfortunate thing about life is that we know that death is coming at some point in time. We
Yes.
don't know when it's coming, but we know.
Right.
And I don't think that there's a way to fully prepare yourself for that.
No.
And so this is why, what would be your because are you doing this full time now?
I'm doing it full time now. I had to stop to care for mom full time. She needs
Yes.
around the clock care. So I'm juggling both.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what is your routine? Because that is, and even if a person is caregiving for kids, I mean, they could be
Mhm.
caregiving for a loved one who's sick or hurt or something
Right.
like that. But what is your routine to be able to kind of keep this business afloat, running? Because I see your social media, which means you're not slacking on that.
Right.
You know, to just give people perspective on a way that they can kind of structure their day or their schedule.
So for me, lately, because I had mentioned why the name Finder Keeper, right? I am very guilty of neglecting my own self care. But I will say for this past month, I've been laser focused on caring for myself, like putting better things in my body so I can think more clear, getting enough sleep. Because there were years that I was running on no sleep.
Mhm.
Right now, the nucleus is taking care of me, right? I get up in the morning now, I do my prayers, I journal, I'll drink a cup of tea, and I go for a walk for like an hour and a half. And then I'll get into the caregiving. Before, I would just jump straight into the caregiving. No
Mhm.
nurturing me, no affirming me, any of that. And I honestly did not feel that great, if I'm being honest. And this was just a month ago. But I've
Mhm.
kind of rerouted now, just like take care of yourself, go connect with God, get what you need for the day from Him, take
Mhm.
care of mom, then get into the weeds of business.
Isn't it
Mhm.
amazing how sometimes you don't feel like you have the time, but then when you make it, oh my
Oh
goodness,
yes, that was me. I was like, well, I don't have the time to take care of
that's
myself.
what
You're
I'm saying.
absolutely right. It's intentionality, being very intentional about you. I now I'm like, it's about me.
Mhm.
The majority of my life I wasn't that way,
Mm, mm. But I
but
mean,
it has
it's
to
good
be.
to recognize it. It's good to
Oh
recognize
yeah,
it, and it's even better to do it because you still have the same time in the day. But I always tell people it's
absolutely.
how you allocate that time. And
Hmm.
so, once you find, and I never think that it's a balance, but once you find your perfect imbalance, and you
Right.
this is what I'm gonna do for me, and then this is how I'm
Yeah.
everybody else. I think it makes things fall into place. Have you found that even in just this last month that it has helped your business also?
Oh yeah, it's helped my business. I feel rejuvenated to get on social more. I feel more creative. I feel more alive. And as I have mentioned, so much death in my family, I'm choosing life now. I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
choosing my calling. I'm choosing to love on me. I'm choosing to love on my family. I'm choosing to love on the business. I'm like, I'm choosing to be alive. Like
Mhm.
sometimes I felt like I was going through life just existing,
Yeah.
but it is really changing how I feel about life and business and what I can do. Like
Okay.
no limitations.
I love
My
it.
mindset is changing too.
Yeah, I love that. Now, I would be like crazy if I didn't ask this question because people
Mhm.
keep asking it to me. How is it working with your husband doing a business? Because being as I like to call it, couplepreneurs, right?
I
It is
love that.
same. It's not the same as just doing stuff by yourself, right? Because trust me,
Mhm.
today I've already been alerted. I already knew, but he was like, "So we're gonna go over ahead and go these September numbers this week." I was like, "Yes." Then this morning he was like, "So remember, make sure you do your stuff today so we can do these numbers." And I'm just like, "Sir, I will be ready." So then he sends me another text message to say, "I mean,
Woo.
to go do your part first. So by the time I get home, we can do this. Don't try to wait till I get home to do all this stuff. And I'm like, so you said it yesterday, you said it this morning, then you sent another text message to remind me. But I think that the thing for us that works is I am the person who I like to do all of the things, right? The aesthetic, pretty stuff. All of the numbers and the rest of the background. He is that person. So I need that grounding. So how does that work for you guys?
I was gonna say, is your husband's name Brandon?
No,
it must be a Brandon thing. Look, my husband is we are yin and yang. I'm more of a risk taker. I'll jump out the window like, let's go, let's try it. We'll figure out how to land on the way down, right? He is like, you're saying, hey, did you get these numbers? Did you do this graphic? Did you? But he does keep me grounded. He keeps me, because I can be like type A to the T, like we're going all the way, and he's like, reel it in, calm down. So we are polar opposites, but our work styles and our mindset differences are complementary.
Okay, and that's good. So what's one thing that he has that you don't have? Like from a work ethic or from a personality perspective, and not saying that you want it because it's for him, but something that maybe he's rubbed off on you a little bit, and it's like, okay, if I could be a little more like that, I think that would, be helpful. What do you think about that?
I will say in our relationship dynamic, I am very much so very visionary, very creative. I do like to problem solve, but I feel like he is more structured than I am. He is more organized than I am. He is a military veteran, so that's probably part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, and my husband was a military kid, so listen, when I tell you,
he got it honest, right?
Yes, you can't. It's not, but you know what? I think people like to, a lot of people, like to down the military thing, but I'm just like, it does do something to either a person ends up being really focused and structured.
Yes.
Or don't want to be that way. So they're going to end up being one of those ways. I'm just appreciating that he is the way that he is because I know that I'm not, and so
exactly.
It's like, I'm so glad you're that person because I.
Sometimes I ain't gonna lie though. Sometimes I'll be like, "You want to smoke with me today? Like, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Dave, I'm gonna get to it. He's like, "We gotta get this done." So sometimes we do have a little friction, but we always come back to center with the, the higher calling in mind. So
the thing that I think about when I think about it is, I said for years, I wanted you to be helpful. I wanted you to be a part of this. And now that you are, I can't be upset because you're a part of this and you're calling me to do the things that we're supposed to do. It's just, he's one of those, he could come in and he doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want to do anything. He wants to get that stuff done. I'm like, let's get a little snack. Let's take a little bit. Why we can't
do the same?
And just like, no, we need to finish up such and such. And I'm just like, you don't want a little snack? You sure? Right? So
that is me. I'll be like, let's just take a chip. Let's talk about how our days were. You know what I mean? So I'm like that too, where I'm like, let's decompress first. He's like, now let's knock it out. Let's get this. We got to get it done.
Oh my God. I'm telling you. So it's like, you can't be upset because the help is there.
And they help you get it done. Like they help you get the big ideas. They help you really get focused and get tunnel vision. Cause I would be like, oh, I'm thinking of shoes, but I'm thinking of this fragrance idea. He's like, shoes first, get the money growing, get the capital there, get the brand equity, then venture out. Like me, I would be all over.
Yeah, I mean, it does business. What happens, I think, is a lot of times you can see other opportunities, but it's not time for you to take them yet.
Yeah.
And being able to also recognize, okay, well, maybe I should go in this direction because I see the trend changing, or I see, that I could get money with this right now. Sometimes you just have to kind of play it by ear, but there's other times where you have to say, listen, I need to reel it back in. Because this is definitely not the direction I said that I was going in. So for me, what I like to do is live by the 90-day focus. So for me, it's like, what am I supposed to be doing for this 90 days? Is this fit into it? If it doesn't, it's got to go, And once I can eliminate some things then you're able to focus on what you're supposed to be doing, because distractions, they are always going to be there. And it's really, to me, about, if I'm really focused on what I'm supposed to be doing, then I can be more successful at that thing. And so that's how I kind of look at it. So with this, I know you said you see the, the other things coming. If you had a next thing, like your one next thing, right? What would your next thing be after the shoes?
Honestly, we want to, as far as shoes, we're doing the ballet flats now, but I want to do like boots and sneakers. So I would want to expound upon shoes fully and then go into whatever it is next. It might be cosmetics, it might be fragrances, it might be clothing, but definitely like getting a bunch of cute, comfortable shoes. Like I say, boots and sneakers, whatever, loafers,
Yeah, no, I like that. And then if people wanted to see things in person, are you doing any type of pop-up kind of things where you can set up and then people can kind of try on and stuff?
I am. I'm actually doing my very first pop-up in Charlotte next Thursday at Lenny Boy Brewing Company. And I will eventually venture down your way, Durham area, right? Yep.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Because now I just left Charlotte Saturday. We were in Atlanta and then we went to stopped in Charlotte and then came back up here. But I definitely think there's always a niche for women with shoes. I mean, you got feet, you need some shoes, right?
Exactly.
And you're finding something that you like. And I think sometimes people being able to see that. Now, I can personally see, I'm just going to do my little prophesy kind of thing. I could see this being something in like the Macy boutique. So when Macy's does their thing again, and they have that kind of incubator thing, I'm just going to say, go after that. I could also see something like Amazon. Now the thing about Amazon is, Amazon is a quick turnover. So as long as you have the inventory, then I could definitely see that. But I could see between a Macy's, I could see an Amazon, something where, it's quick for people to get it. And it's a high upper echelon kind of thing. So I think that one of those, I could see something like that.
That's on our, I call it our business bucket list, like the biggest dreams, those things are there.
Yes, I love that. Now, if you could leave people with like a final thought or inspiration, a positive vibe, a phrase that you live by, what would that be for the people that are watching?
I'll tell you what, it came to me this morning, actually, after my walk and I was getting dressed to talk to your beautiful face and your beautiful energy today.
Your beautiful face with your little chocolate face.
Girl. Girls, we in this thing. But it was, how often at times you'll see, and I've been guilty of it, where you'll say, I'm doing this to prove my haters wrong. Right? I'm like, no, I'm doing this to prove God right. And I'm doing this because I don't want to lose this bet that I placed on myself and that I brought my family into. So it's betting on me, but trusting God fully. It's like, don't give too much love or too much attention to the haters. Focus on what you can really do for yourself. Don't let yourself down. That's the thing that I had that came to me this morning.
Tammy is like, listen, I love that. And I think that oftentimes, and I've been guilty of it, oftentimes we can focus on the haters, right?
Yes, I have too.
Now I do believe in stunting on what I like to call these hoes and foes. I do believe in stunting.
Oh, I've said that too.
I do believe.
I'm doing that right now in the challenge on the app. I was talking about it on my story. Like, I am doing some stunting, but like, I'm like, they've had enough of that, right? I'm like, bet on you. You have so much more power within you than you believe. And I'm learning that every single day.
Yes. And I think that, when you start to do things, and everybody doesn't believe in God, but I think a lot of the people that follow me probably do, there is a divine power and an order to things. And when you do focus on that, things change. And that's why it's like, you have to put that in perspective. Now, where can people find you online?
So you can find me on IG and Facebook at Shop Finder Keeper. Our website is www.shopfinderkeeper.com. And another thing, Chisa, in this moment, I've always played the background.
Okay.
I've stood to the back. I actually have a podcast too. Called If the Shoe Fits. Yeah. So that's out there on like Apple and Spotify,
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah.
We will
So
definitely have to listen to that and share with the people. So anybody,
yeah.
if you're watching on the replay, and thank you for everybody that watched live. If you're watching on the replay, you can still leave comments. All of the contact information will be listed underneath there. And then definitely make sure that you literally shop, find or keep her, right? And that you support. And even if you know women's shoes are not your thing, or maybe flats are not your thing, it doesn't mean that you can't share. And I think that that's one thing that we need to take into consideration. Sometimes it's somebody seeing something, and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be that that's even the thing that's for you, but that you shared it. And so that
Yeah.
influence that we have, a lot of people need to take that influence and
Mhm.
they need to use it by just sharing. It costs no dollars for you to press a
Yep.
share button.
Yeah.
So
Share, like, and we have people like you who you have a business, you have several businesses that you monetize, but you give your time to people. That means a lot. That helps businesses grow as well. People giving
yeah,
their time
yeah.
and their expertise.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does. It definitely does make a difference. And like I said, we have monetized this in the past, and it just has not been put on my heart to monetize it now. And I feel like whenever it's been told to me to go ahead and monetize it, we will. But
Mhm.
for where it's at right now, and just where I'm at, I want to, be able to keep this as a resource that I think, can help people. And it's not that people don't get attention. It's not that people don't get to hear their story. All of that part is part of it, which could make it be monetized. But as of right now, this is something that I want to do as a give back, and so that's how we do it. And it makes sense for us. So I want to thank you so much for being on today.
Mhm.
Yes, Lily. All right.
Thank
Um,
you, Chisa. Like, I want to thank you.
good. Well, thank you.
You
Yeah.
are everything. I'm telling you, me and my husband, we look up to you and your husband like from afar in Charlotte. We are so just impressed and appreciative. Like you really are just beautiful all around.
Well,
Energy,
thank you.
contagious, vibrant.
She
I'm
turned
like,
to make
look, this
extra blush.
beautiful queen. I'm just you're just picking up my spirit so much right now.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, because honestly, we all go through things, and I think that we got to get through them no matter what. And
That's
so it's
right.
just how we choose to do that. And I choose to show the joy side of things. Not that things are always perfect, but I do think that it makes a difference when you give genuinely, and that's just what we do over here.
It
So.
does.
For everybody, make sure that you always show up and show out, and you continue to give it to the people. And we'll see you on our next episode.
All right.